Well, it's that time of the year again. We're heading up to the Northern Territory in about a week's time. I'm about to go over and see a good mate of mine, Nibby, who this year I'm going up there with them. It's a different crew. Very excited about where we're going. Last year we went to a spot which was really off the grid, and we had a great time. It was actually the best trip I've ever had in my life as far as fishing is concerned. But this year we're going to go to King Ash Bay, which is different, a little bit more, I suppose, refined. There's a fuel and all sorts of things there that you can take advantage of. So I'm going to go there, and we're going to check out the MacArthur Riveters just to see how it will perform. But I'm heading around to Nibby's place at the moment just to have a look at the setup that he's got. Totally different to what we did last year. And that's the beauty of these sorts of trips. There's probably 50, 100 different ways that you can set up to go up to the Northern Territory and enjoy barra fishing, and obviously with all the other species that are up there too. So pretty excited and can't wait to start the trip in about a week's time. Fortunately the roads are open, but they're very, very rugged at the moment. There's a lot of damage up there from cyclones that have been around and flooding. So, fingers crossed, we'll have a safe trip up there and enjoy the time while we're up there. Alright, here we are. This is some of the gear that we're going to go up to the Northern Territory with. Here's me good mate Nibby. How are you, mate?
Good mate, how are you?
That's good. Alright, so Nibby's done a lot of work here to get ready to go up for this trip. As you can see, a lovely boat. Bit nicer boat than the boat we went in last year. Might chip a bit more of the paint by the looks of it, Nib.
Yes, I've done a few trips with the fella before I bought it up into that area.
Yeah. So anyway, mate, just look, we're going to do a quick rundown of the gear of what you've done to set up to go up there, right? So obviously there's 50 different ways that you can set up to go to the Northern Territory to try and catch a barra.
True, mate, absolutely. And depending on cost, how you want to go, I want to keep it as low key because it is a fishing canopy for me, not a full-time travelling canopy. So I want to keep it at low cost, which I've done with the aluminium canopy weight-wise as well.
Yep.
Comes in fairly light. Put a false floor in the bottom, carpeted floor front and back.
Yep.
Foil board on the sides, on the roof.
Yep.
Under the floor and in the front and back of the canopy to keep the temperatures down. We're running 3 fridges in there, so just to keep that in the middle of the day temperature down, so they can behave effectively.
Yep.
On top, got 250 watt solar panel.
Okay. Yep. Righto. Oh yeah, I see them. Yep.
That's a King's solar panel.
Yep.
250 that we put on it. It pretty much keeps up with the demand of the 3 fridges in there.
Yeah.
Awning out the side for our overnighters, and when we get up there,
Yep.
just a few extra lighting that we've done to make it a bit easier around camp at night, being off power on the right side of the road when we go up, so just to give us a bit more illumination.
A bit of suspension. You done anything to the suspension on this rig, mate?
I have. Gone with the airbag man underneath it.
Okay.
Run it at around the 40 psi.
Yep.
Just to keep the weights where it goes, and it sits nicely. It doesn't sag, doesn't feel it when you're travelling along.
Yep.
With the boat weights that it's got. I think there's 150 kilo on the board.
Yeah.
Adds to the vehicle.
Very good. What about your boat, mate? What have you done to get up there safely?
Tyres, the maintenance on the trailer, so I fitted new tyres up last year on that.
Yep.
I carry a spare spring pack just in case the roads aren't up to scratch. Spring pack, U-bolts, spare hub, keep that in there. Service outboard before we've taken off for part of the safety of being up there. You're in remote areas, so you want to make sure everything is 100% before you go. Had an issue with the VHF radio last year, so we've replaced that this year as well.
Okay.
Just
when now you're talking about radios in the safety area, because it's 5,000, is it? About 5,000 kilometres that we'll be going.
It is, yeah.
So there's another vehicle going with us. So you got two-way radio, so you can talk to each other regarding the road and stuff like that. Is that correct?
Yeah, sure. Which is good too, because the road probably will be knocked about a bit by the time we get there. And, he can let us know that, or the lead vehicle will let us know as we're going. So
for sure. All right. So while we're on safety, things like I know that you've sort of you've told me a bit about this. You've got going to take your own water.
Yes.
Up there. So we've got these. These are a good idea. These are. They're like a bottle that collapses, are they?
They are. So we just fill them.
They're hardy enough, you reckon? They'll...
Yeah, no, they're fine. We took them up last year. So to fill them up, I think they're 15 litres. Yeah. So fill them up. So between the four of those, and that's just for drinking. So between three of us up there, our drinking water, transfer them across to the two 5 litre bottles during the day.
Okay.
And that just to keep us. I'm not sure about the water quality.
Yeah, for sure.
So that keeps us going.
While we're talking about it, I'm going to chop and change a bit, but it looks like obviously you use the boat as a trailer to tow up there. It looks like you got a bit of spare room, but then I noticed that all this has still got to go in there. So a trip to the Northern Territory, if you do it, even sort of, we're not doing it in a real flash way, are we? With
no, but
it's still amazing how much gear. There's three swags, three swags in there, and there's a whole range of other stuff that we still got to put in the boat.
Yes,
unreal.
No, that's true. But all up, I guess there'd be 100 kilos of stuff in the boat.
Yeah. Yep.
A lot of it is bulky, but not heavily stuff.
Yeah.
I've got 2 ton on the trailer.
Yep.
And boat, so we're well within our weights.
Yeah, sure. Other areas of safety, and this is where I give our little plug for boomer anchors. Look, you've got in touch with me and said that you wanted one. Why?
Well, when we went up last year, we had a bit of trouble with anchoring. There's a few good deep areas up there, and between current and the condition of the floor, the riverbed floor, anchoring was an issue. We couldn't anchor with
the Danforth,
typical
sand anchor,
sand anchor and thing. So we did drift. So that limited us a little bit where we could fish. Because we tried a couple of the deep holes, and same result. We drifted out of there all the time. So I wanted to try something a bit different. Which is your anchor.
Yes. Yeah.
And I've done a bit of research on the YouTube on there. Some of the work you put on there, and I was pretty happy with the way that it does perform. So I thought, give it a go this year.
Yeah, that's great, mate. No, thank you very much for that. This anchor I'm very proud of it, obviously. One of the hardest things I've found is to sell anchors to your mates.
Yes.
It really is, you don't want to, let them down, I suppose. This anchor, one of the things that we used last year is there's actually a feature in here, excuse me, that you can actually open this anchor out to mud mode, and you get about 25% more holding capability in mud. And we like Sid, the fellow that took the boat up last year, he used a boomer anchor and he was amazed with it. You can go onto our YouTube channel and you'll see what that anchor was doing last year, and he was very impressed with it. And he's done a lot of fishing, that guy. But more importantly is you've got some refreshments I see here, righto, but I'm a bit confused at why we have to take Pinot Noir, mate. Squealing Pig, is that what they call this stuff from New Zealand?
True, that one's a brand, the Squealing Pig. We a mate of mine that's coming with us as well. In the early years, we did a few trips over to New Zealand, just travelling with our wives, and came across the New Zealand Pinot Noir, and for there, we've drunk it ever since. For our choice of red wine.
So there's a plug for Squealing Pig Pinot Noir.
And with our trip last year and again this year, instead of taking bottles up, because they're very roomy, they take a lot of room up bottles and clunky, so we've gone with the travel pack. Excellent.
Righto. Last but not least, respect the rules. We talk about that a lot, don't we? When you go up to a place like the Northern Territory, you know, like we're visitors. We go in there, and you know, what's your thoughts on the rules? And by the way, where are we going? And do they help us with really understanding the rules of what we can't take, what we release, etc.
Yeah, sure. There's we're going up into King Ash Bay.
Yep.
And a few tools. You've got your Northern Territory app. Everyone can, you know, load, or most people can load onto their phone. I guess you need reception up there to have that at all times. But when you get to the ramps up there into King Ash Bay, the fishing village, they've got designated signboards with identifying what fish, bag limits, what you can take, and photos of the island areas as well.
Yep.
So we take a photo of those. When we get to the ramp, we just take a photo of that.
Yep.
And then we've got it handy with us to remind us as well.
Sure.
That the rules are different back to Queensland, of course.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, now you and I, we both admit we're not great barra fishermen. You know, we're no experts. We're not trying to make that out. What sort of gear, fishing gear, would you take? I'm going to give this this is my tackle box. I'm going to give them a plug. This bucket mouth. My old tackle box had fallen to pieces, and I saw this actually on I think it was a YouTube video or something like this, bucket mouth. You can actually sit on these, and they've got tons of room inside, and for a trip up to the Northern Territory, which, you know, and they get knocked around, don't they? A lot of stuff gets knocked around, so
yeah.
I was pretty excited to purchase that from BCF, that one.
Yeah.
Wonderful. But what about rods and reels, mate? You know, very brief. What's your sort of brief explanation of what you use to go up there?
And again, there are a lot of people out there do a lot of fishing, use a lot of better gear than what we use.
Yep.
Just stick to a basic 10 kilo rod.
Yep.
So a reasonable quality rod.
Yep.
Same again, the reel, good quality reel.
Yep.
Maybe, you know, enough to run a 50-pound braid with a 80-pound leader
Yep.
on the front there, around that, I'd say 6,000 to 8,000 range in
Yep.
most models. And that does us.
Yeah, yep, for sure. And we'll also got to remember we do a bit of live baiting, so learn how to throw a cast net. So I'll be videoing some guys up there, just seeing what their style is like.
You won't get me thrown, mate, because I'm on the steer.
Oh yeah, you're the skipper. All right, mate. Thanks a lot for that, eh?